Hello everyone, how you doing? This is part 2 on campus safety in response to the brutal attack on the Boston High School principal as well as other string of campus violence across the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Now, let's start from here. First, I'd like to say Happy Veterans Day and I'd also like to say happy birthday to the U.S. Marine Corps. Thank you for your service, and thank you for serving. I salute you. Now, let's get on more about campus safety. Yeah, because throughout the 2021 fall semester, there's been a lot of string of, violence, such as bullying, racist attacks, sexual assaults. This is very concerning. This is very concerning at all. Because, really, and I just want to let people know that I'm not making this video to grab attention or anything like that or get any fame. I'll say it again. This video is not about getting attention or getting any fame. Because the reason why it is part 2 of the video, because, string of violence, racist attacks, all that. Because we're all in learning environments. Because we all go there to get our education, work, etc., without being a target of anything. But, the thing is, ever since we all went back to normal operations for the first time since the pandemic lockdown, it feels that, a lot of attitudes changed, personality has changed. That's what it feels like. And, ever since colleges started going back to normal operations, it's back to mishandling of cases of domestic violence, sexual assaults, bullying, racist attacks. And it's not just happening at colleges, high schools as well. Even at sporting events, both college and high school. Because, when I went to the UMass women's and men's basketball game for the first time in 600 days for the men's basketball team, it was a good time and everything like that. But, I had to tell one student to, spread the word, to end the word, because the student in the student section at UMass Amherst was calling the other team's player the R word. I'm like, it's okay to talk trash or anything, but, let's not go that far. And there was another student in the student section. He was asking number 2 for UMBC. He said, 32 is not your number, it's your age. And then later on in the game, he said to the UMass student said to the other team's player, "Hey, 32, how old are you?" And I said again, I was like, "Sir, let's not go too far now, because that is going too far." I'm like, you want to talk trash, but there's a fine line of talking trash and going too far. That's sporting events. There is. And also, there's similar problems at high school, such as, the one in Tewksbury. You got one up in Norwood where 2 Brockton High School students claimed that they were sexually harassed verbally by Norwood students, who are probably Norwood High School students, but I don't know the whole story right there. And then there's also parents and hockey players getting at it, brawl happening among parents and student athletes. The MIAA, which stands for Massachusetts Interscholastic Athletic Association, is saying enough is enough. And I agree with the MIAA. Because, the thing is, people just take it too far. And look what happened at Stoughton High School. There's a brawl happening in the hallway, and though there's students filming it, and teachers getting involved as well as getting hurt. That's the thing is teachers shouldn't throw themselves in the middle like that, but it's all about protecting the students, which I agree with on. But the thing is, still in high school administrations talk about, punishing the students for filming. That I don't agree with, because filming the fight actually helps with the investigation. It does. So if Stoughton High School administration is watching this video, you may want to reconsider punishing the students for filming, because, like I said, filming the fight can help with the investigation. It can. It can help with the investigation. And, I'm hearing about Quincy High School. They're doing a walkout because of some racist video that went viral, but I guess it happened a year prior to today, but either way, it's wrong. And see, the thing is, we all need to come together, whether it's in person, Zoom, or both, and address these concerns about campus safety and violences. Because, it appears that a lot of people don't know how to act, ever since we're all coming out of a lockdown due to the pandemic. Sometimes, being cooped up in the same place can do a lot to you. People's moods change and everything like that. Because I know the lockdown was supposed to keep us protected, but then also take a toll on mental health. The restrictions, everything, how it affected relationships, families, marriages, friendships. Because really, if I was cooped up in the same place for a long time, I admit I would kind of go nuts, because it's just, come on. And then the travel bans, everything like that, you're going to fine people for not complying. Because really, traveling is good for mental health as well. But then there's a pandemic and everything. But really, people, I am aware of the fact that, the pandemic has played a role on everyone's behavior, both children and adults, especially first responders. Everybody's stressed, everything like that. We're all going back to normal and everything, but, it's still, people's mood swings, everything. It is very concerning. And also, I like to point out the fact, Michelle Wu, I'm sorry, I got used to this. Miss Mayor Michelle Wu. I'm glad you won the election. I'm glad you'll be the first female mayor of Boston. I'm glad. I'll take that back. Well, I'm glad you're going to be, the second female mayor of Boston. But anyway, who's counting? But I like to explain this to you that, I support you. I do. And I'm glad I met you back in 2016 during the People's Over Pipelines March. I'm glad I got a chance to meet you. But the thing is, too, if you want to help make a difference or anything like that, I plan to help make a difference with you. But the thing is, you got to win back the trust of Boston police. You do. And, you got to remember that they have to be stationed outside your house 24/7. And another thing is, hey, if you want to take the T to work, just from wherever to Boston City Hall, that's a good thing. It is. But just keep in mind that, that when you ride the T and everything like that, the MBTA is going to turn into a police state. And like some ways good, some ways are bad. Because, there are some law enforcement officials that would make have an excuse to abuse their power. No, I'm not saying all police officers are like that. I'm not saying all of them are like that, but there are some that would use the authority for an excuse to abuse their power. Other than that, you're probably the first Boston mayor to ride the T to work. And I like the idea as well. But also as far as the MBTA being free and everything like that, well, I don't know how it's going to work out, but yeah, other than that would help for me as well, but I don't know how that's going to work. But yeah. But, the thing is, if you really don't want police officers in Boston schools, then why not have security guards? Because I think security guards in schools instead of police is actually a good idea, because in case something does go on, it's not just teachers that'll have to bring up the fights, security guards as well, because they can watch the hallway, make sure everybody's going to class on time. They can make sure nobody's skipping or anything like that. They can tackle anything like there's bullying going on, or if a teacher needs to call somebody to get a student removed from the class, I'm like, security guards can do that as well. Like I said, if you don't want police to be in schools or anything like that, then I think security guard is the best solution. I think it is a good idea to have security guards in the schools. But other than that, Miss Mayor Michelle Wu, I'm glad you're the mayor. I'm glad you've been elected. But just like I said, and like I would say, you do have to win the trust of Boston police. Because, Boston police is the first in the nation. They are. And, I support BPD. And I'm glad, the officers, the 3 officers that was shot in the standoff in Dorchester, I'm glad they're at the hospital and they're all well. They're probably going to have to take some time off to recover, but, I'm just glad they're doing well. So if the 3 officers are watching this video, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you survived. But for those who know the person or related to the suspect, my thoughts are with you as well. Because, see, we got to do something with mental health. We all do. Which is why I'm calling everybody to come together, whether it's via Zoom, in person, or both. I'm like, that's a good idea, because we all want to make it a better semester in the 2022 spring semester. That's what we all want to do. Because really, campus safety across Massachusetts continues to be a concern. It is. And like I said in the last video, part 1, I'm a former Boston Public School student. And I would like to remind people that, sometimes I kind of freeze in this video, but, it's just making these videos not easy. It's not. And then, you got some people who would try to discourage me from making these videos. People say, oh, I'm just looking to grab attention. You got people saying to me that I'm looking for fame. I'm not looking for fame. I'm not looking for any fame. I'm just, want to help make a difference, everything. But anyways, this does it for part 2. So stay tuned for part 3. For those of you who appreciate my videos, I appreciate it. Be safe, be well. Thank you.